Good evening and welcome back to Let's Play Darkness Within in Pursuit of Loath Nolder. When we left off last time, we'd finally figured out how to open the envelope that we found in Loath Nolder's office. It contained a journal and a letter and a key from a Clark Field to his brother Jonathan, stating that he had this house. I'm not entirely sure how Clark Field relates to Loath Nolder, but regardless, we're checking out this house. We went down in the basement. It's got a strange smell to it. That door is locked. Now we're going to finish up the first floor and then go upstairs. So let's go to this door. This door is not locked. Oh, I think there's something behind that blocks it. Okay, I was going to say, if it's not locked, well then let's go in there. But maybe there'll be another way. Look at this behemoth. All these hutches and stuff. These are the worst. My mom always had a bunch of hutches growing up. They take up a lot of space. They're very heavy. They are a pain to move around. And mostly, all they do is contain a bunch of stuff that you don't really need anyhow. You're better off just getting rid of them. That's my thoughts on hutches. See, look how uninteresting these ones are. There's not even anything we can investigate inside of them. This is a pretty cool house, though. Oh, is this that room? Maybe, but the door's locked, so we're not getting in there. Alright, let's step into here. Well, it was very thoughtful of someone to leave all these lights on for us. Okay, I'm not seeing anything to click, so let's step a little deeper. Ooh, what do we got here? Is this the brothers? There is a note written on the back of this photo that reads Jonathan and Clark Field. Mr. Field said that he and his brother did not get along. This is the only family picture here. Okay. Oh, what's this? Now hold on, this is suspicious. If I can get up close here, there's gotta be something that I can see. Other than just this picture of birds by... Is that a house? It's really hard to tell, it's dark. Alright, I'm betting we're gonna have to go back to that. Ooh, what's this? Looks promising. These are Mr. Field's notes. So my notes were not the complete set. Okay, this means a ton more reading. Oh, let's do it. Part 2 of 4. Oh yeah, because this is part 1 in the book. Alright, we're into May 17th. For the past 2 weeks, I was out of town because of my job, and when I returned feeling tired, I learned that the restoration had not been completed due to the sounds that some of the workers suggested came from the cellar. This incident made me really angry, and I immediately obtained a strong flashlight in order to find out what those superstitious vagrants may have been afraid of. My purpose was, by using the old rusty ladder, to go down and just take a look down there. But it didn't matter how many steps down I took, the ground continued to be concealed in the claustrophobic pitch darkness of the well. A short time later, I noticed the opening of a horizontal tunnel. I entered the tunnel to check it. I don't know how long I stayed in there wondering why and when this worm-like burrow was dug. It's to connect the houses, right? But when I decided to proceed, I felt that my legs were aching. After moving forward a short distance, I reached a wide chamber which was full of blood-curdling, strange statues. On its walls, you could see signs of some erased and now to a great extent unreadable writings or wall paintings. The air was dominated by some kind of thick, decaying smell, which caused me to cough frequently. From the opening of the tunnel, on the right and left walls of the chamber, there were some kind of statues which looked almost alive, so much so that, just for a second, I thought that they would rise and start to walk, which I thought depicted saurian creatures with the bodies of men. There was another figure which seemed to depict a ruler, similar to the hybrid statues on the walls, who was sitting on his throne and watching one of these creatures being sacrificed. This scene was depicted with such realism that no one could look at it without feeling a sense of terror. Well, it is a really creepy thing to find. You know, you've got this inexplicable well in your house, you go down it, and it's connected to some bizarre occultist chamber. When I got close to the figure sitting on its throne, I noticed that some kind of smoke was leaking in from the gaps that were behind the concrete throne. In fact, this was not easily discerned, because if not for the wind which was blowing the smoke inside, I wouldn't have noticed it at all. I heard some sounds coming from behind those gaps, which allowed the wind and smoke to enter. The presence of these gaps made me believe that there may be other chambers below that one. If so, this could be an important archaeological discovery. I jumped with fright on hearing some noises that were certainly coming from beyond the tunnel in the depths of the pitch-black well. I immediately entered the tunnel, intent on locating the source of the noises. In spite of my strong flashlight, visibility was limited. Through weary eyes, it may have been a momentary illusion or the enormously magnified shadow of a rat being illuminated by my flashlight beam, but I saw, or think I saw, something moving down there. I jumped with fright because of this, but only later would I realize the thing that shocked me and caused me to wake up from nightmares and listen shivering to the sounds that came from beyond the darkness that, like a thick blanket, covered the house where merciful moonlight cannot reach. While I attempted to see something with my flashlight within that glutinous darkness, I heard a feeble voice that came from some faraway place calling out something like, "Come." The voice was very similar to that of Ivar's familiar low-pitched voice. Through the effect of that shock, I threw my flashlight into that dense and dreary darkness, and with both hands free, I dashed to the cold, damp, and rusty metal ladder which, at that time, seemed to me as though it was aeons old. While I was climbing up, and without daring to look down, I caused a piece of the ladder to be broken off, and it fell into the pitch darkness. Maybe because of the comforting feeling provided by this incident, I managed to reach the top and get out of that well. The next morning, when I woke up to my bedroom bathed in sunlight, I thought that all these events were just illusions, merely caused by excessive weariness and insomnia. I reached another conclusion. Maybe Ivar was right about the restoration. This sort of place has very important features invisible to the naked eye. Hence I decided to leave the house as it is now. I'm not going to make any further efforts to restore the house. We got nothing here. I could underline some things, but not right now. Well, interesting. Alright, another picture we can look at, but can't really interact with. And okay, it looks bent a little oddly, like the room is kind of warped. Which could be on purpose, because there are, there's Lovecraft stories about rooms with unnatural geometry and stuff like that. But anyhow, I think we are done in this area. And maybe next, I kind of want to pick up that screwdriver, but it's not giving me the option. What is all of this? Alright, well, I think it might be time to head upstairs. Okay, it looks like 2 rooms down here. Almost 7. 6:55 a.m. That was the same time as before, wasn't it? An unreadable paper. We're not even going to take a closer look. What's this? Can we take the lantern? Okay, I'm going to try. Oh, this is a pain, but he talked about one of the rooms being really dark and you have to have a lantern. So maybe if we underline a lantern, we can grab this thing. Alright, where was it? Okay, here. Okay, no electric wiring. So, we had to use some lanterns. No? Alright then. Well, back to exploring for now. Oh, what do we got here? Pieces of paper and furniture are randomly scattered around. Yeah, it looks like someone rifled through here pretty good. Well, let's step past it and go over this way. Well, it looks like more blood or whatever on the floor. Nothing here? Okay. Well, straight into this one then. Some of the rooms, including this one, have only been partially restored. The furniture has been placed haphazardly. Take that rope. It's bound to be useful. Some rope. Fantastic. Okay. So back over here. And no, there wasn't anything back here. Deeper in. Oh, I do like the walls here. Look at that. It's a place with some character, for sure. Wow, this is really dark. I bet if we'd had that lantern, if you'd picked that up, we could see something. Alright. But I don't think we're getting deeper in right now. I'm sure there's more to be accomplished in some of these rooms. I'm not too worried about it just yet. I just want to do some overall exploring, and then when we've got a better idea of what specifically to look for, I'll go back. Oh, this looks promising. The case of Alfonso Rugger. Summarized below are the known psychological problems caused by taking the hallucinogenic mixture called Diverse. I don't know how to say that. During a heightened emotional state, excessive anger, worry, fear, etc. These psychological problems can sometimes be extremely harsh and can even lead to permanent madness. It is known that some esoteric ethnic groups use this secret mixture in their religious rites and festivals. A typical example of this can be found in the notes of the famous occultist and philosopher Alfonso Rugger, dated October 2nd, 1833. His notes cover the period of time from the 11th of October, 1832, to the time of his death on the 12th of November, 1833. For more information, please refer to the book, that word again, A Black Void, which relates his experiences with that stuff, and was compiled after his death from his handwritten records. October 2nd, 1833. After extensive trials, I can say that it has profound effects. Its ability to alter consciousness is unbelievable. Unfortunately, my detailed research has only uncovered a few fragments of information about this mixture. Even though its effects are short-lived, the experience is very powerful. It is difficult to describe, but I would say that it pushes the soul to its very limits. I must add that I feel a strange sensation from it, as though it creates an emptiness inside the body. But of course these are very vague descriptions of my experience. Perhaps someone else would describe it differently. Interesting. What do you think of that, Howard? No? Permanent madness? Nope. What about Alfonso Rugger? Okay, after trials. Oh, he's not going for it. Well, if we're not picking it up permanently, now I'm worried that there's going to be something that I need from that. I'm not doing it right now. I'll come back and look at it later. All this underlining random things in the hopes that they're going to be important. Ugh, not up for it at the moment. Let's head back over here. Yeah, we got 2 rooms to check out. Go ahead and start with this one. What do we got here? Nothing? Some kind of mask. A carved wooden mask, one of many displayed here. Evidently Mr. Field had an interest in these. Very old books. Volumes of forgotten lore. Nothing else? Just old books. Alright. What do we got here? This pot looks authentic. What about this piece of paper? I can't get to it. Perhaps from another angle. Spin around, please. No, look at it lying there, so tempting. But it won't let me pull the pointer onto it. Alright, what's this one? This note is about a manuscript. An indication of the strange interest Mr. Field had. What does the note say? It could be important. Nothing to click on here, just more strange books. And I can't look at his phone. It doesn't look like he's got power. Well, no, there's power in the house though, because we got all the lights on. This thing just, there's nothing to indicate it's on. This large library contains books whose subject matter ranges from magic and the occult to geography and history. The majority of them are very old and difficult to obtain. Is this that weird carving he was so disturbed by? I bet it is. Alright, a guy with a beard with his hands in front of him. Oh, hey, hey. And yeah, the secret compartment he talked about. Nothing inside. This looks interesting. Huh. Oh, what's in this box? It's locked. I don't suppose the house key would open it. No, it's not gonna. Oh well. Well, we'll have to find a key somewhere then. Anything over here? Oh, is this an empty display case? Yeah, the showcase is empty. I wonder what strange things were displayed here. Alright. What is this that's in this pot? It just looks kind of like a big... Or is it a spear? It does look like it maybe flares out a bit at the tip. More masks. These look very threatening. Alright, let's hop into this room across the hall. It's humid in here. Okay, wait. This This wardrobe is locked. Okay, the doors messed me up all of a sudden, and I thought, which one did I come in? So many locked doors in this house. What do we got here? Oh, wow. Well, this is all kinds of messed up. And maybe it was because of this that mankind always tried, and is still trying, to overcome this obstacle with the help of some hallucinogenic substances. Hallucinogenic. A lot of carvings and petroglyphs show us the signs of mushroom cults that existed thousands of years ago. Understanding the soul metamorphosis demands examination of far more complex and esoteric thought systems, together with the asserted theories required by these systems. It is obvious that the soul metamorphosis is not a state that can be achieved simply through the process of altering the state of consciousness. It appears that, from the allusions which were found in some of the ancient texts, the information about the characteristics of this state is insufficient and leads to even more confusion. But again, a consociate point becomes apparent. This is the probability that the hallucinogenic substances, which can be seen in most of the ancient documents, drawings, and carvings, may serve as a key or catalyzer. The most important examples of these can be seen in the stories that are told about the secret Eleusinian mysteries and the Kaikion drink, which were used in these rituals. They are very important in this respect. Let's underline those. Really? Not interesting? These crazy, bizarre words? I'm sure that they'll end up being interesting. At this point, I want to continue with some examples from the strange and in some parts confusing book of the notorious German writer, philosopher, and alchemist Wolfgang Schneider, who lived during the latter part of the 14th century, and because of his radical thoughts about religious topics, was burned at the stake when he was 68. Yikes. This book, that was translated into our language as Eclipse of the Soul, is really hard to find presently, and it is believed that original copies can only be found in certain major libraries. In the book, the parts which deal with a very ancient esoteric belief called that word again, that was said to be directly related to the metamorphosis of the soul, are particularly interesting. According to the book, in this belief, the starting and the ending phases of the metamorphosis of the soul process are depicted with the eclipse of the sun. The writer asserted that this belief is based on an ancient oral traditional doctrine, but he also claimed that he had intentionally kept secret the sources which led him to this information. The information necessary to research this topic could not be found due to the secretive attitude of the writer. Yet, according to some ethnologists, signs of this kind of a belief are present in the world. Another source that the writer used for proving his assertions must be mentioned, and cannot be ignored. This source is a series of parchments called Summoning the One Who Lies Beneath. He claimed that the originals had been written in 4839 BC by an Egyptian priest using strange hieroglyphs and some unknown symbols that are not hieroglyphs. He further emphasized that the one he possessed was just a copy of this original brought by him from Cairo and might be dated 2200 BC. This parchment could not be found despite widespread searches by contemporary mystics. There is speculation that even if a parchment like this really exists, it probably resides in the collection of some rich occultist. The Summoning the One Who Lies Beneath is thought to be a compilation describing some preparations and rites written by an unknown cult that worshipped Apep and opposed the Maat. This is according to some Egyptologists, although there are some who disagree with them. The important thing here is once again the allusion to the use of hallucinogens. We know that there were mushroom cults in the Sahara Desert 7,000 to 9,000 years ago, owing to some carvings and petroglyphs. The fact that the texts and the diagrams in the book completely corroborate these historical truths proves that what Wolfgang Schneider had written about the summoning the one who lies beneath may be true. It proves it may be true. The Eleusinian mysteries were annual initiation ceremonies for the cult of Demeter and Persephone based at Eleusis in ancient Greece. Of all of the mysterious celebrations of ancient times, these were held to be one of the ones of greatest importance. These myths and mysteries began around 1500 BCE and later spread to Rome. The rites, cultic worship, and beliefs were kept secret, for initiation rites united the worshipper with God and included promises of divine power and rewards in the afterlife. Kaikion was an ancient Greek drink made mainly of water, barley, and herbs. It was drunk at the Eleusinian mysteries. Eleusinian. Apep was the deification of chaos and darkness, and thus opponent of light and Maat in ancient Egypt. Apep was seen as a giant snake, crocodile, serpent, or in later years, in a few cases, as a dragon. And Maat was an ancient Egyptian concept of truth, justice, order, and balance, and also a goddess who was the personification of this concept. Okay, so that is that book. Which again, we're not... Take it with you, Howard. I don't want to have to come back and underline a bunch of stuff there later. Alright, let's keep looking through this room. Ooh, that is a really old style phone. Okay, what do we got in the drawers? Something, but not interesting enough for us to pick it up. Next. I think that's clothing. Oh, a key. I didn't even see it. It was just tucked in there. I was looking at all the papers and stuff. Alright. Well, there's locked doors everywhere, so that'll open something for us. I should probably try that box first. I think that's the most likely place. And it looks like that's about it for here. Well, unless it's the wardrobe. Alright, let's just try the wardrobe really quick, because we're right here. A rusty key. Are you the key for this door? Does not appear to be. Alright, perhaps for the box then. Which, yes, was in here. So I'll try it out, but I think I'm actually going to do that next time. I'm going to wind the episode down here. Like and subscribe if you've enjoyed this. Come back next time. We'll see if we can open this box. If not the box, we will figure out what that key is for. I think maybe off screen I might go through and try and do some underlining of these papers that we can't take with us. Because I don't really know what's going to be important clues. It's mostly just going to be trial and error. And I don't know that you really want to sit and watch me underline a whole different bits of text in the hopes that something works out. So, we'll see.